Mr. Irontrader. It is Tuesday morning, but I got to give a big shout out to my Detroit Lions who went into Baltimore and beat the Ravens. Wow, what a game. Okay, let's take a look here today at Bitcoin, at gold, silver, which are moving up higher, crude oil, and natural gas. This video is for information purposes only, not a recommendation, advice, any stock about ETF. If you'd like to subscribe, thanks for watching. All right, here we have Bitcoin, your daily and your weekly chart. Now, let's just take a look here at the weekly here so far. You can see here where it's been selling off here and came right down, but the 21 days so far is holding, okay? Now, the reason being is you've got liquidation of about $1.5 billion worth of Bitcoin. And really what happens is when you get these big sales, then what it does is it puts stop losses in there, and that's where you have that big run and had big selling off here. Now, again, to me, I don't worry about that kind of situation. I always look for opportunity, and I just think Bitcoin is going to go higher over time. October is a really good month for Bitcoin, so let's just see how this is going to shake out. Okay, so here we have on the daily chart, we come all the way down here. We made a low there of 111.555 area. Okay, so right now we're really pretty much right in this support level. Okay, and we're also holding that 100-day at 111 to 27 level. Now, if we start losing that, then we come down here to that 110.480 level. We have 109.720. Your next level is going to be right down here at 108.845. And then we have 108.20, and then your big retest at 107.790 level. But right now we're holding it, and say we're right here into all this, basically all this support level going on right here so far. So she's holding up very, very nicely. Okay. So what we're really looking for is today, I say today low 111.555. This is what we're looking for here next at 111.230 level. Okay. Before we hit that 100 simple moving average. Now you can see here we have so far right now, but it's way early that we have a bottoming tail situation. But we need to get back above and close back above that 21-day 113.325 level. Now, if we can, okay, then we just follow these candles right on up here. You got 113.590 level, and then we'll come up here next resistance at 114.635, and then we'll come up there at 114.850. And then we can come up to the bottom of that candle at 115.220. But this is what you're looking for, is at 115.8604 level. That is your 8-day. Now your 21-day or 50-day is just right above that at 115.760. Obviously, we get above that, then we have this upside target there at that 118.295. But again, I like to show you where it could go. But right now, the only thing really the concern is we have to get back above this 21-day on a closing basis. Then we can head for that 8-day and then 50-day, and then we can maybe make a retest. Now, this is not overbought, oversold it out to 46 level. The green is still above your red, even though we had this big sell down here. Now, this is what was the tell, because look how many times that we held it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 days above that 50-day. But Friday, you can see the action where we put in a lower high and a lower low, and you close below that key 8-day and 50-day. That was the tell. Okay, so then the next day, like yesterday, when it popped up, you know that's going to be very, very strong resistance. If you can't get through that, then you know she's going to come right on down. Okay, so again, but what I look for here is nice opportunity, and I'm going to see if this bottom will hold at that 111.555, if that holds, and then maybe we can get above this here, this 21-day. Now, by Friday, this is still a very, very bullish chart. This could come all the way down to that 50-day, and just still bottom left, upper right, very, very bullish chart. But what I'm looking for is for it to hold this 111.441. That is your 21-day, and maybe we can get back above that 114.736 level to take that bad boy higher. Now, you're only sitting at 56. It's a very, very strong, obviously, commodity. Your green is still below your red, but it's not. It's now just curled right on down. So just be very, very patient with this. Again, but look for a buying opportunity. I think we can take this thing much, much higher. Okay, let's take a look here now at gold and silver. Here we have gold and silver. Now you can see here how we have this breakout. Okay, so we had look at the top of that candle at that 35.09, and then we made 35. Top of that candle at 35.34. Okay, so that was a double top, came down, regrouped. Then once we broke out of this, we just had this nice, good up parabolic on up. Okay, so when we're in this level here, I said this could go to 37.50, 3800, maybe even 38.20. We hit 38.24 here today. Right now, you're sitting at 38.18. Okay, now again, if it keeps right on rolling, you can go 38.50, 3,900. But again, remember, just take one level at a time, kind of a situation. Now, you are in an overbought situation kind of here, but it also shows that there's a lot of strength. The green never curled over your red, and that shows momentum now back to the upside. And so that's what we're looking for here. So you made a high of 38.24, came in within a 4 of what I was looking at that 38.20 level. But now I say if it keeps right on running, look for that 38.50 and then look for that 3,900. And then you could run this all the way up to 4,000 is what they might want to take it to. Okay. So again, for me, I'm just a trade. I use GLD. Yesterday was a very, very good trade. Today, I'm going to see if there's going to be a little bit of pullback, but we're starting to get outside that price channel. So they might want to come in, but let me just play this just as it, day by day kind of a situation. Now, downside here, what you're watching is yesterday's high, that 37.83, and then we'll come down to today's low, 37.72 level, right? Then if we kind of lose that, then we'll come over top of that candle, 37.44 level, and then we're looking for that 8-day at 37.27 level. Now, you can see here how we had this two red candles. Okay, we put a low in there of 36.60. Then we retested it there on Friday at 36.64 level. So you made a higher high and a higher low. That's always very, very positive. With a nice green candle above the 8-day, tells you that it is going to go higher. So yesterday was a really good trading day. GLD, right now I'm flat. I have no position, and I'm looking to try to get back into it. If we can crack right above that 38.24, then I'll just take it to the next level. Okay, silver, the same kind of a situation. So when we're down this situation here, I said you're looking at, we were looking at this 40 level here that we're going to try to get to. You made that 42 level. And then up here, we came all the way up to the top of that candle. You made that 43 level. You can see here where we broke out of that situation. Yesterday was a nice, good trade in SLV. I took my position off. I have no position in SLV. I'll be looking for trades today. But when we're down here, I said, well, you're looking for realistically, you're looking for that 44 level and maybe possibly 45. Now, if we keep right on rolling here, I'm looking for that 45 level and then possibly run this thing all the way up to 50, which is very, very possible. Okay. Now, RSI, very, very strong. There's no divergence. It just shows that, okay, you're entering an overbought condition, but doesn't mean it can't stay overbought. The green is over your red. So this looks very, very strong situation. So we're looking on the downside is look to yesterday's low, 44.39, today's low at 43.97 level, and then we'll come to the top of that candle, 43.43, and then we're looking for that 8-day at that 43.13 level. But right now, this looks like we're breaking out, just like we had this scenario here. But just to be a little bit careful, this could go for another day or two. But usually when it gets above that price channel, then it wants to come in and consolidate. Okay, so right now, I say I'm looking for that 45 level here. So we came in, we're getting here pretty close. Then we have to see what the reaction is once we hit that 45 level. Okay, let's take a look here now at crude oil and natural gas. Here we have crude oil, here we have natural gas. Now, you can see here, yesterday we came down all the way down to that 61.61 level, but we were looking for 61.45. We're still holding it, okay? So you can see how strong it is. All right, see where we hit there, 61.45, 61.45, we came there at 61.69, and then yesterday we hit 61.61, okay? So we're holding at 61.45, then we have a green candle going on up to the situation. Now, on the upside, this is what we want to watch, is that 8-day at 63.18. That's going to be very, very strong resistance. Next level we got here is going to be at that 63.41 level, okay? Now, we get above that, we can look to the top of this candle right here. You're looking at 64.20, and then we can come up here to your 50-day 64.48 and your 100-day at 64.51. Okay. Now your 50-day crossed over your 100-day, so that's going to provide very, very strong resistance, as we can see in the past. In the past. So you have to respect it. And if it does get up to the 50-day, respect that it just might not go higher. Okay. Right now we have this descending chart going on here where we have this high, lower high, lower high, lower high situation. Okay, so you're basically wedging it out, wedging down. So what you have to do is got to get back above that price channel. Okay, at that 66.03, then we can start hitting these levels here on the upside. But until that happens, you have sideways to down action. Now on the downside, we're watching today's low, 61.85, yesterday's low at 61.61, and then your key level is that 61.45 level, okay? Now, remember, the API report will be out today at 4:30, and we'll see if there's any kind of a reaction off of that, okay? So we start losing that 61.45, we come right over to the bottom here, 6106. We have 6026, 6002, but this is going to be your big target. It's going to be that 5974 level. That's going to be your target, only if you lose that 6145. Okay. Next big target is going to be right there. It's going to be 5774, and then next big target is 5512. Level. But right now we just have this sideways consolidation. So, but what I don't like about it is see where that 50-day cross now over that 100-day. That's going to provide very, very big time resistance if it can break through that 8-day, 21-day, and go head towards that 50-day. Now you're only sitting at 47. That's not overbought or oversold. We have sideways action on your MACD. So right now we just want to just trade this. I use UCO for the long, SCO for the short, and it seemed to work out very, very nicely. Now, Natgas here. We had a really nice, good run up here here on the Natgas. Okay, so what we did is we hit this high of 3.13. Just look to the left of the chart. What do we have? 3.13. Then we had 3.16. Okay, we're left of the chart, 3.16. See this double top situation? Never made it to the 3.19, and then we made this series of lower highs. Now today we also have a lower low in here. We came all the way down here to 277. So all I had said is it. What do we do? I've been telling you this here for weeks. All you do is look to the left of the chart. What do you have? 277. Okay, this is your support level right there. Okay, see how nice it is? Now, if we lose that, then we go right to the gap fill at 274. We lose that, we come to the bottom of this candle right here. Okay, you're looking at 2.68, and then we have 2.65, and then we have 2.62. Okay, just that simple. But right now we're holding that gap. That's why I always point out these gaps in this fill. Okay, and a lot of times it'll come right to the gap. Doesn't mean it has to fill it. Okay, but once you start getting into the gap, then yes, then it will fill that gap. Okay, but right now we're holding that gap at that 277. Now what we're looking for is on the upside. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to look to the bottom of this candle, 285. Then we'll look to yesterday's high, 294. Then we're looking for this 8-day, which now crossed over 290, roughly 296, and then we have 296. Okay, but your 8-day crossed over a little bit over your 21-day. So now that's going to provide very, very strong resistance. Okay, now we get above that, we have the 50-day at 302. Then we just march the candles up. 310, 313. And then we have 316, and then your retest at 319. You have your 100-day air at 328, and then you have your 200 SMA, simple moving average right there. Now, what I don't like about this is this 8-day rolled over and you crossed over that 21-day. Again, that's going to provide very, very strong resistance. So you're going to need some kind of a catalyst to blow through all of this here to get it higher. Okay, just that simple. Now, the call for a very, very hard winner. Usually, natural gas, if you look at a seasonality chart, you can go on my playlist. I have seasonality charts right on there for you. Or a couple weekends ago, I did a seasonality, which has crude oil, natural gas, gold, silver, has all the indexes on there. You can also check that out at your convenience. But realistically, it sells down in September, and then we have a nice good rally into the end of November. So let's just see if it all shakes out. But right now, we have this, again, descending chart going on here. Okay, high, lower high, lower high, lower high situation. So you have to crack above that 319 to reverse that. Then you can hit the 100-day, 200-day. Then you can start hitting all these levels until we get to that retest there at 414. Now, the market here is very fully supplied. You have a lot of good supply in the natural gas. So even if we have some draws going on here, if you have a hard winter, it's going to take time for natural gas to start rallying. So just have to be very, very patient. So for today, what you want to watch is that 277 level. Okay, if we lose that, you're going to go 274, 268, 265, 262. Those are your support levels. Upside, you just watch that bottom of that candle at that 285 level. That's going to be your next resistance level, and then we can march that up to that 296 level. Now, we have RSI. You're sitting at 40. That's not either overbought or oversold, but I don't like this either. This is another red flag. See how that green crossed over your red? That shows momentum to the downside, okay, along with the 8-day to the downside. So, okay, there's two big red flags, so pay attention to that. All right, that's what I got for you. I'll be back here at Midday Trading. We'll take a look at some stocks. And remember, trade what's in front of you, not what you want.